Here's an overview of how to use the swarm on Clay. So in this example, I've thousands of companies in the table and I'm looking up for relationships, and you can see how the swarm is able to find intro path into those companies. The connector is going to be the person that can give me an intro, and then here the full name, title, and company name is the person at the company that I can get an intro to. So here is how it works. You can start with any Clay table and look up the swarm enrichments. We have two. We have intros to companies or to a person. The person one requires you to have a swarm account and bring your own key. You can use the company one without a swarm account, although of course you can also bring your own key with this one. I'll start with the simplest version of like finding an intro to a company without a key. So there would be the Clay Manage key. It costs 3 credits per row where we have found at least 1 relationships, right? We don't charge if there is no relationship found, as with other Clay enrichments. So you'll start with putting your company domain. This is how we can map the network around your company, and the initial domain mapping takes a few hours. So if you do this, you'll need to wait a few hours for the first time only to be able to run enrichments. What happens behind the scenes is we find your company in our database. We have employees at your company. We have their full profile, and we created an algorithm to look at employees' former colleagues. So we map all of your employees' former colleagues. We also look at their education, and we look at college alumni. So same year, same school, same degree alumni. Those first 2 mappings we call work overlaps and education overlaps. And there's a third mapping. We have fundraising data baked into our database, and so we're able to find executives of portfolio companies of shared investors. So after a few hours, you basically have access to this database of former colleagues, school alumni, and shared investors around your company. This is done without having a swarm account again and just using the Clay Manage account. So after this first like 2 or 3 hours, you can come back and you can put in a target company domain. So this is the first column here, and then you can run the enrichment. You have also job function and seniority filters that are optional, of course. The more filters you have, the less results you'll get. But of course, if you want, for example, intro to someone in the sales department, and maybe like VP level and up, you can do that kind of filter in here. And then the result looks like this. You'll have relationships, and the relationship that's being displayed in here in the table is going to be the one with the strongest score. So for each relationship, based on the data we have, we attribute a score to it. And the one with the strongest score is the one that's like at the top of your array here. If you look at the cell detail, those 2 relationships, the intro to this person here, Kay Sonner, is going to be the one that's displayed in the table. We also have another intro path into Samurai, App Samurai, and that's an intro to Iram. So looking at the details here of what's going on, let's take the example, close this one, and look at like Sonner. So we have an intro to the co-founder and head of store intelligence at App Samurai. And if you go into the connections piece here of the array, you'll see that the connector is 500 Emerging Europe. So it's actually an investor here. So this is a shared investor. It looks like the company that you would have inputted here, and that's the swarm in this example, has 500 Emerging Europe as an investor. And this company also has 500. So I would go to ask 500 for an intro to Kay Sonner. You can go into here to see more details. So you see shared investor is the origin here. I can also pull any of those data points into a new column, right? So I can add this here. And now you can see what's going on is I'm able to see the origin of the connection. So you'll see, for example, here there's a work overlap. So Spectrum, we have an intro to Gordon that works at that company. There's a difference in the company name here, and Adam is our connector, and he worked with this person. So if I look at the detail, I can see Gordon here. As a work overlap with Adam, which is one of our connectors. You also notice that we have LinkedIn connections and email contacts here. So this is the case where we're using the bring your own key option. Again, when you add the enrichment, you have the option to use the Swarm, your Swarm API key. So for that, you will need like a Swarm account. And what it lets you do is invite more connectors. So the default connectors are going to be your employees. That's what we map automatically. But if you create a Swarm account and go to the members tab, you'll be able to add more connectors. So you can add advisors, you can add partners, you can add investors, of course. You can add happy customers. There's a link invite if you want to invite them to very easily go upload their LinkedIn CSV without having to create a Swarm account. So you can put in a Slack channel or in an email thread and simply invite your connectors, tell them like, hey, I'm using the Swarm for warm introductions. If you are okay with that, would love to go through your LinkedIn. This is private to myself. I'm the only one seeing this. And you can just upload your file right here on the Swarm, on this page. So that's how you would like add the LinkedIn data into this that's being pulled through the Swarm. You can also invite people as members. So here it's taking a little bit of time to load, so I'm going to switch to another team and you can see how you can add people as members here. So members get an invitation, admin contributors get an invitation, connectors don't. And you can, once you have logged in, if this person is invited as an active member, the work overlap is done by default for everyone. Connection overlaps, the LinkedIn connections is something they can add. And then you can connect your Gmail for email account or contacts to be pulled in. And that's how then I would go into team settings and then API. And then I would like reveal and generate the key and get the key into Clay. So that would be here. You can add account, you can add a key here. And you essentially pull then from like that broader data set that you've created and you can manage with the Swarm application here. You can also look through the data on the Swarm itself. So the people tab and companies tab will let you like add more filters than you would have on Clay. And you can export the data into lists. The advantage of Clay, of course, is that you can then add more things in the table. So you can add more enrichments and engagement strategies and drafting intro emails or whatnot. So this is like the way to use the Clay integration and the data behind it. If you have any questions, reach out to support@theswarm.com. You can also visit theswarm.com/clay that has some resources for you. Thank you for watching.